Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy, it's a pleasure, it's an honor to be out here as usual in nature, bringing this message of emancipation to you, whereby I'm pointing you to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. Thus, the reason why I want to speak to you concerning the wounding of the beast as it is spoken of in the book of Revelation 13. But before I go any further and read that verse for you, I want to give you the basis of my teaching. Now, the basis of my teaching is that the Bible addresses the human mind and must be interpreted psychologically. That the Bible is not literal, neither is the Bible secular history. And that the Bible is written symbolically, and they have no reference to anyone who existed thousands of years ago or to any actual event that took place upon earth thousands of years ago. Now, from Genesis 1 to Revelation 22, it's all a great psychological drama. It all have to do with the human psyche, and it is our own thoughts that is creating our reality. Therefore, you have to understand, first of all, that everything is energy, vibration, and frequency, and your thought is a vibrational frequency. So as you sow, so shall you reap. Therefore, you have to become more responsible for your thoughts. So let me get my Bible, and it's right here on this phone. I'm going to read to you from the book of Revelation. And Revelation have to do with the revealing, the unfolding of that which is hidden. And it is only those who have the wisdom of self would understand this book, or the entire book of itself, from Genesis 1 to Revelation 22. Now, let me say that at a further date in time, I would go into this same scripture and I would break it down from verses 1 right down for you. But for now, I just want to take verses 3 because there's something I really want to show you of what is really taking place on the earth right now. Okay? It says here that I saw one of his head as it were wounded to death. And when you say I saw one of his head, who is this speaking about here? It is speaking about the system. It is speaking about the beast. It is speaking about the antichrist spirit, which is a certain mindset of which they would have placed within us since we were little children through the school system, the political system, and the church system. Okay? And here today, right now, as I'm speaking to you, in the year 2020, we are actually beholding the wounding of the beast, the wounded beast, which is the system of fear, the system that has been robbing you of your power. So it is a power robbing you of your power, but it is the one and same power. So this power of which I speak, you can use the energy of this power in love or in fear. So they were keeping us in fear. And as I would have said before, through the church system, through the school system, and through the political system. That's the reason why they get you to believe that you have to go to school, get good grades, and then seek a job. But they never teach you that you can create your reality consciously and that God is your own human imagination, which is the creator in everyone. They never taught you of your mental faculties, like your will, your perception, your intuition, your imagination, your memory, your reasoning. They never teach you how to use these faculties to create your reality and to be the man or woman that you would like to be. Okay? And then, in the religious system, they teach you to believe in a God outside of yourself. They teach you to vibrate on the energy of judgment, condemnation, shame, and guilt. And they keep you all the time to vibrate at the level of the animals. And instead of you living the life of God in flesh, you've been vibrating at the level of the animals. In the lowest state of consciousness, they were keeping you in hell, because hell is a state of mind. It's where you're living in your lower self. And so they were having control over the earth. And when you say having control over the earth, when they control your mind, everything that you have down here, you can find it in a pig. You can find it in a dog. So if you do not use the faculty of thinking and speech, which speech and mind is what make us equal to the infinite. If you do not use that, then you're better off than the animals. Okay? So here now, as I was saying, that this system, which is the antichrist system that is keeping us from discovering our Christ self, our higher self, they were using the same church system as I would have mentioned to keep the people in fear and to keep them captive. But right now, we see they themselves how to inflict this wound upon themselves in order to try to distract the great awakening that is taking place on the earth right now. Okay, so you see the political system is at work in a weakened state. We see the church system is at their weakest state ever. And we see the school system is at their weakest state ever. And all of this had to happen because they know in this time there's a great awakening that is taking place on the earth, and they do not want the churches to be infiltrated as much, neither the school system and the political system, by those of us who are awakened and enlightened and trying to get the others to wake up. So they came up with things like social distancing, and they create this whole pandemic to cause further separation. And the only means whereby we can reach out to each and everyone is through social media, through the internet. And there's where now we start to see their true colors, where they're taking on people's video, and we're saying the right to free speech being violated, because right now the beast or the power that's been keeping the people in darkness, in blindness, we see that they are in a place of desperation. And so it's been written here by the mystics who have put this book together, teaching us of our spiritual autobiography and how we are to discover that this book is our spiritual autobiography, and they was hiding from us our spiritual autobiography because they didn't want us to discover our magical self, our creative self. They didn't want us to know that we can create our reality consciously, and that we all have equal power, and there is no real aristocracy. Okay, so here it says that it was wounded, the beast was wounded to death. That's how wounded they are right now. And that is the place that they had to find themselves because of, as I would have said before, because of the mass awakening that has been taking place on the earth while many are still asleep. But we see after this pandemic is over, it will be too late for many. And this is where many will be left behind. Left behind where? In the awakening. Now they deceive them and teach them to believe in a God outside of themselves and deceive them of a false rapture, a false coming. And so many believe when they speak about being left behind is those who wouldn't go in the rapture. And they have their own delusional kind of a rapture that the system give them. Because what happened is that the church system been infiltrated for hundreds of years to secret society, giving them interpretation of what they refer to as prophecy. Not knowing the cell phone I'm holding in my hand here is actually fulfillment of prophecy. The glasses on my face here is the fulfillment of prophecy. And all these religious people, they are working for money and they don't even realize that money is a fulfillment of prophecy. They are driving vehicles and don't realize vehicle is a fulfillment of prophecy. They are riding plane and they're traveling everywhere saying that God have commissioned them to go preach the gospel all around the world and they should get private jet and do not know the jet, the plane, all these things, they are fulfillment of prophecy. And they didn't rejoice when these things were accomplished or invented. But when something that is negative in some way or the other happens, they want to say it is fulfillment of prophecy because they have been influenced by the beast, because they have given over their power to the beast, which is the one who keep them under fair energy and robbing them of their energy, robbing them of their creative energy. So here when they talk about beast, don't get check and think about literal animal is speaking about. And don't get check and think about secular history and talk about Persia and all of these kind of things, okay? Get to realize it's a power it is speaking of and there's only one power, okay? And that power could be used for fear or love. So it said was wounded unto death, and we are seeing the wounding of the beast right now. And it's only those who have eyes to see would see the wounding of the beast. Because when people on the internet is telling you that everything that they've been doing to you and saying to you and teaching it was false, even the teachers that were teaching you in school that they're false teachers. When we're showing you that real money or your real economy is your mentality, and money was false a thought, it was false an idea, and how to use your mind, how to use your creativity, how to use your imagination. We've been inflicting even more wound upon the system. And the system reach a place that it is so weak that in order to prove that it has some sort of strength, they have to put together a pandemic. And the clips of certain president who was speaking about this long before. Right now you have a president of the USA right now, but there's a president who was before him who was speaking about this before it ever happened. So here it says, and his deadly wound was healed. The healing will come about after they already put what they want to put in place to have more control over the minds of the people and to have more control over the means of communication and to keep people in further fear. Because so many people gonna become so dependent on the system because they fail to believe in themselves and because they fail to believe in the message that is coming forth to them from messengers such like myself and many others who are trying to wake them up, to tell them that they have to believe in themselves, to tell them that the church system have been lying to them, the religious, the school system have been lying to them, which is the educational system, the political system have been lying to them, and that no one could love you more than you should love yourself. When we are trying to teach them these things and try to wake them up, They do not want to wake up. Many are refusing this message of self-realization in this time. And so, AI and all these things that they're putting in place, and 5G, all these things that they're putting in place to have further control, it would give the beast, which is the system, which is a power, which is the same power we all use, okay? It will give them further control over the mind of the people. Because people failing to realize that consciousness is the only reality, and that imagination creates reality, and that we are responsible for our thoughts, and we are to create by using our mind power. But yet there's still people who believe in a God outside of themselves. There's still people who believe in a literal devil and a literal hell. So it is teaching you here that that system, that power will be healed, because they will come back. And this time when they come back, the economy that most people believe to be the real economy, because they do not understand everything that they see around here, it's illusionary. And we are living in an imaginary world. They're going to have further rule over these people because they've been left behind. These people, with their religious mentality and their academic education mentality and their political mentality, they are the foolish virgins. They have no oil in the lamp. And when they do catch themselves, they want you to give them some of their oil. But it don't work like that, because everyone was given a portion. Everyone supposed to receive the same payment. And the parable is spoken in the Bible of those who work for certain hours. And then it tells you, out of the 12 hours of the day, that there was those who came the 11th hour, and they worked for 1 hour and they got the same pay, and those others were complaining and saying how they come in the 11th hour and work for 1 hour and get the same pay. It is teaching us that all of us have the same power, all of us have the same ability, all of us have the same mind, but it's just different arrangement of the same mind. So the rich man, the poor man, the beggar man, the thief is one mind, but different arrangement of that mind. That is why the government do not have any power over you as they have you to believe. The religious system doesn't have any power over you as they will have you to believe. The educational system doesn't have any power over you as they will have you to believe. So they have you believing in a lie. They have you living in fear, which is false evidence appearing real. But here there's so much of us that are exposing the beast, exposing the power that is lying to you, the power that is blaspheming, by speaking against your Christ self, by getting you to go against your Christ self, by getting you to doubt your Christ self, for getting you to believe in separation. The beast are the power, the system is what make us believe that we are different from each other. Make us believe that one is a Chinese, one is a Japanese, one is a white man, one is a black man, and they divide us and make us live in fear of each other and make us believe in race. So my brother and my sisters, this is the time you have to take advantage. When the beast is wounded, and it is wounded unto death. And as a matter of fact, to those of us who have already awakened, this is the death of the beast. That's why we say, "O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?" Because we have overcome our greatest enemy. And my brother and my sisters, your greatest enemy is yourself. Your ego self is the real enemy. And they get you to vibrate in your ego self, your lower self. And that's the real enemy. But I'm just pointing out the system to you, to show you how the system is getting you to vibrate in your ego self, which is your lower self. So it says here, his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. When he say all the world wondered after the beast, it is not speaking of about those of us who have come to the power of 9. It is not speaking about us who have come to understand the number of the beast. Many religious people think they understand the number, but in another video or later on when I get to really go into more deeper teaching, because I'm putting certain things together so I can reach to you, so I don't have to always be out here with the wind blowing so heavy and so on, and I could go into some serious Bible study for 1 hour, 2 hour, hour and a half, as long as time will take me, okay, to really bring these things to you and break them down. Okay, so right now I'm working on my studio to reach out to you. So my brother and my sisters, here as I'm saying to you, they would wonder at the beast, the power, the system, because they're gonna control everything. Because right now we're living in a digital age, and there's so much people who get trapped, and they're still in the industrial age, and they still haven't wake up as yet, and they don't even know what is going on. And to them, we are crazy. You can look around and see all these people thing all over the face and really believe what the news is saying to them. So, my brother and my sisters, I'm just bringing this message to help you to wake up and not to be fearful, and learn to use your mind power to achieve your every desire. As I always instruct you, write down your affirmations. Say your affirmations morning, noon, and at night. Especially at night when you go into bed. Use your imagination to become whatever you want to be in this world. When you find yourself in that drowsy, sleepy state, it is when you're going to change dimension. You're going to come out of this 3D world into the 4th dimension. I'm speaking from experience. At that time already, I would have fallen asleep consciously. I was in touch with my genie. And whatever was my wish, it was my command. And then I go unconscious. But let me say this. You can end up and find yourself actually outside of your body. So if you're fearful and you're full of fear, you can actually kill yourself by fighting to get back in your body, when you could just relax and imagine yourself right back on your bed, knowing that you fall asleep on your bed. Start moving your finger on your bed. Just imagine you're on your bed and you're going to get back. You're going to get back. Okay, you can come into experience whereby you'll be dreaming and you'll be conscious, so conscious that you're dreaming that you can actually wake yourself up in a dream and find yourself in another world. And if you do not know how to come back, they might meet your body in the bed, but you can come back. You just have to use your imagination and remember that you fall asleep. And imagine yourself back on your bed. Imagine you're moving your hand. If you're sleeping next to your husband or your wife, imagine that they're right there and you're touching them. You're going to come back. So you see, that's why we do not have to live a life of fear. Because as I say, fear finds evidence appearing real. And let me say this, that we are eternal beings. All we just doing is just changing dimension. They don't want you to know that. So the beast right now is wounded. It is wounded. All the system is wounded. They had to do that. You understand? In order for the world to wonder at them. To get more people in their trap. to get more people to believe in the system, to get more people trapped in the system, to get more people to depend on the system. Could you imagine that they are paying people and sending them checks, stimulus, or whatever you call it, to stay home and to stay in isolation? I know there are many people who would enjoy that because they could get to watch more series on Netflix or on Amazon Prime, or they can get more idle time. But for those of us who are conscious and who understand all the strategy of the beast, when it's time for meditation, when it's time for deep breathing, when it's time to be out here connected with nature, when it's time to look inwardly, when it's time for us to create our reality and create it consciously, when it's time for us to get our affirmation, say our affirmation, now it's time for us to go into the book of Habakkuk chapter 2. Read these kind of scriptures I'm giving you. Follow the instructions. The instructions are right there for you. When in Job chapter 33, 14 to 16, put these things to work in your life. And I can go on and on and on. My brother and my sister are also encouraging you. Get my books. The link is right down below. Read as much book as possible concerning your spirituality. Equip yourself. This is time for reading. This is time for meditating. This is time that you want to be able to accumulate so much that you will have options. Because money gives you option. And you can create it by being more in charge of your mind, being in control of your mind. Because, for example, everywhere where they print money, the building, it was false thought. The machines that they're using to print money, it was false thought. All these things were false thought. So therefore, all these things exist within you. They exist within your human imagination. Therefore, you have to practice energy transmutation. You have to transmute your energy. And that is why right now they're stealing people's energy. And they're going to use 5G to steal even more people's energy. Because people do not discover their creativity. They do not realize that they are the Lord and Master of their destiny. They do not know that they are God in flesh. They do not know that this life is a dream, and they have to wake up out of the dream. And they've been sent messengers to wake them up out of the dream, to warn them of the beast, and to show them the wounding of the beast. So right now, what I'm saying, if there were more conscious people on the face of the earth, this would have been the death of the beast, which is the death of the system completely. But for those of us who are conscious, we are living in our golden age. But to some, it would be their hell on earth, when it would be our heaven here. Because we found heaven to be within ourselves. We found the kingdom of God to be within. And we've been instructed that when we find the kingdom of God, that all these things will be added unto us. It's a law. It can't change. Just like if you plant pumpkin, you could never reap watermelon. So is the law. So my brother and my sisters, if you are under the sound of my voice, you don't rub yourself with a horse of knowledge. People asking me to do things and the mark of the beast. I can go into all of these things, but it's going to take some time. I have to take my time. I have to break down. I have to be in the right atmosphere and everything. Sometimes I'm out here, and sometimes the wind burns so heavy, and so on. And sometimes people want you to provide better service for them, but they have to be a part of it, okay, in every aspect, okay, so you can put more better things in place and give more better service. You see, we have to be very grateful for whatever little, okay, we are getting, because sometimes someone might say, okay, the background, there might be a problem in the background and so on and all of that. You see? But if you just be grateful that at least you can hear, and at least what you're hearing is making sense to you, then you will understand why it speaks about your mustard seed. Having faith like a mustard seed, and why it is said that you must be grateful in the small things. Because there will come a time when the way how we are able now to bring this kind of message to you, it would not be this easy. As I would have said earlier, and even now, people who are warning others, just like myself, concerning this pandemic, they start to, like, let me say, prosecute them by taking down their video and so on. Yet they're saying that we're living in democratic country and freedom of speech. So you see, they've been lying to us all the time. So my brother and my sister, I just want you to take heed. I just want you to take warning and to make use of the opportunity. Make use of the, as I said, opportunity, right, that has been given to you right now, that the beast, is wounded. Make use of the opportunity. Use your time wisely in the wounding of the beast. So with that being said, my brother and my sister, I want to thank you very much. And I want to say, if you're listening to me right now, and this is the very first time that you're listening to me, and what I'm saying, if it is making sense to you, then it is for you. Okay? And if you haven't subscribed already, I'm encouraging you to subscribe, to like, to comment, or to share this video. Also, I want to say to you that this message I bring to you, it is the single eye. Yes, the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And that is the eye they do not want you to discover. And that is why they put that eye on the US dollar and try to make you be fearful of that eye. But I'm saying to you that that eye would open in you, and you'll come to realize that it is the all-seeing eye of God in you, who is your own human imagination, for you would experience an awakened imagination. And that is why I always give you the symbol of the single eye in my hand and my contractor, saying to you that when you have the experience, you come to realize that it is the rising of the sun in a son, and that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. For the sun parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, there is no life, and there is no light, and without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And you have a solar plexus. Therefore, my brother and my sisters, you are told in Psalms 84:11 that the Lord thy God is a sun and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And the sun has never withhold any good thing from you. Also, in Malachi 4:2, you're told that the Son of Righteousness shall arise in you with healing in his wings. And that's why I'm bringing healing to you, by letting you know that there is no way any S-O-N could exist before there first be the S-U-N. Therefore, when you're told that Jesus is the light of the world, that is a great lie. And when you're told of the Virgin Mary story, and they get you to believe of a birth from a woman's vagina who was still a virgin, it is the greatest lie that I've ever been told to humanity. For it wasn't until I experienced the birth from the skull, why I'm putting my hand right here on my crown chakra, that I know it is the greatest lie that I've been ever fed to humanity. And that's why I always encourage you, my brother and my sisters, to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your creative power, your God power, to achieve your every desire, and do not be influenced and controlled by the beast. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.